A warm welcome to Diski Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I discuss all things Dstv Premiership action as I have a post-match tactical analysis of Cape Town City versus Mamelodi Sundowns, which ended 2-0 in favor of the away side, which were Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you do have a look at it then, the blue team will represent Cape Town City, the red team will represent Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you have a look at it then, coming up into this encounter, Cape Town City then did start with a 4-2-3-1. At times it was a 4-3-3. Whenever then Thabo Notata would look to advance further up in midfield, so then it would become sort of two advanced eights there with Mtanzani. At times then that would be the shape. So when you do have a look at the personnel then, in goals they did start with Marks, and then at left back they did start with Van Heerden, who did make his debut as he has joined from Stellenbosch. And then as the left-sided centre-back they started with Mukeke. As the right-sided centre-back they went with Cupido, and then at right-back they did start with Craig Martin. Within the heart of midfield then they started with Ambina, and then you had Notata, and then you had Mduduzi Mtanzani. Coming off the left-hand side, you had Darwin Gonzalez. Up front, you had Daniels, who also made his debut. And then off the right-hand side, they did start with Mayo. So when you do have a look at Cape Town City then, with regards to the offensive scheme, what did they look like? So a lot of the times then, the wingers were looking to maintain the width. So you had Gonzalez on the left-hand side. Off the right-hand side, you had Mayo, and then you had Daniels. And then what you would see is that with Notata as a number 8, you'd make a lot of late runs into the box. So with regards then to the offensive scheme, that's what Cape Town City looked like. You had Mduduzi Mtanzani, who would be also looking then to sort of break into the box. So you had somewhat of that shape with regards to the offensive scheme. A lot of the times it did look like a 2-3-5 with Notata making the late run, which would make it a front 5. And a lot of the times you did see the two fullbacks in those deep wide areas. Sometimes they would be looking to offer the width. They would be looking to overlap to deliver those balls. And when you then have a look at them from without the ball, so with regards to then how they were looking to press, so their pressing scheme then was quite interesting, because a lot of the times with Cape Town City then it did look somewhat of a 4-2-3-1. But what you would see then when they were looking to press is that you would have Mduduzi Mtanzani there, and then you'd also have Notata at times looking to go advanced, and then the two wingers would be slightly tucked in. So at times it would look somewhat of that shape with regards to how they were looking to press this Mamelodi Sundowns side. And then without the ball, then they did go to a 4-2-3-1 block. At times it looks somewhat of a 4-4-2, at times 4-3-3. But overall then, when you do have a look at this Cape Town City side with regards to how they played, I think on the night they were the better side with regards to how penetrative they were within the final third. I think that they created the better chances, especially then in the first half. When you look at Umayo down the right-hand side, he delivered two quality balls into the box. So the first being for Notata, which I think Notata should have buried that. I think that was a sitter. The next then, another quality cross where he chops back onto his left foot. He puts in a lovely ball for Daniels, who I think should have headed home because he was unmarked as well. So when you do have a look at Cape Town City then, they were creating better chances. And I think they were a lot more penetrative and a lot more direct at times with regards then to how they were looking to attack. Without the ball, I would say that they really troubled Mamelodi Sundowns with regards to ensuring that Sundowns couldn't really build up. So what Cape Town City did very well then was how then they looked to go into their mid-block. And when they were in their mid-block, you saw somewhat of that shape. And when they did have that shape, it was then very difficult for Mamelodi Sundowns looking to build up. So overall then, when you do have a look at it, I think this is the type of game that Eric Tinkler won't be too pleased with, especially considering that Cape Town City created more chances on the night, and they created better chances as well, and considering that within the first half they could have been 2-0 up. So from Cape Town City then, I would say that there wasn't really a player who really stood out with regards to their performances, but I think a standout mention does go to Mbina, who at times within the heart of midfield was very solid, as he really kept Themba Zwane quiet, bar the goal that Themba Zwane scored. And then Mayo, within the first half, I think he created 2 very, very good chances. However, moving on then right along, let's have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns. So when you have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns then, coming up into this encounter, they then did line up then with a 4-4-2 diamond, which then was a shape that we're not used to. So I haven't seen this shape from Mamelodi Sundowns, so it was quite interesting then with regards to the personalities they used. So let's have a look at those personalities then. So in goals then, they did start with Ronwen Williams, and then at right back, they did start with Mudau. As the right-sided centre-back, they started with Onyango, and then as the left-sided centre-back, they started with Lebusa, and then as the left-back, they did start with AUBREY MODIBA. So moving on then within the heart of midfield, they did start with Tebogo Mokoena, who was then playing as the deep laying playmaker. And then on the right side, they did start with Mayema. On the left side, they did start with Hashim Domingo. You then had Themba Zwane in this 10 role. And then off the right-hand side, you had Kutumela. Off the left-hand side, you then did have Shalulile. So with regards then to how Mamelodi Sundowns then were looking to attack. So when you have a look at this system then, so this system then is heavily reliant on the 2 fullbacks offering you the width. So a lot of the times then what you did see was Mudau on the right-hand side, and then Modiba on the left-hand side, looking to offer the width. You then had Kutumela, you had Shalulile, you had Themba Zwane, and then you would have Domingo looking to break into the box a lot of the times, and then you had Mayema there, Mokoena sat very deep. So a lot of the times, this is what the offensive scheme looked like. But whenever then the ball would be on, let's say, the right-hand side with Mudau, what you would see then, you would see Modiba looking then to invert within that half space. And then if the ball was with Modiba in this left-wide channel, you would see Mudau looking then to hold his position and looking to invert as well. So when you do have a look then at a 4-4-2 diamond, it is heavily reliant with regards to the 2 fullbacks looking to offer that width. And when you do have a look at Mamelodi Sundowns with regards to how they were looking to press. So how they were looking to press then is what you did see then, they were looking to, let's just get those players down. So how then they were looking to press is that Cape Town City had the 2 centre-backs there. You would then have Mbina, who would be looking to collect, and then you'd have Zwane. So that is how Cape Town City were looking to build up. Mamelodi Sundowns then, with regards to how they were looking to press, that is how they were looking to press. And so what you would see then, you would see Kutumela going onto the centre-back there. You would then see Shalulile going onto the other centre-back, and then you would see Zwane then. So it was a lot of the times a 3 versus 3. And when you do then have a look at this Mamelodi Sundowns side, without the ball then, it was pretty much then a 4-4-2 diamond block. But overall then, when you do have a look at it and you have a look at the goals then which were scored on the night. So the first goal then does come from a direct free kick. That is Modiba, who gets the ball within that pocket of space. Direct free kick, bends one within the top corner. And then the second goal does come then from a very beautiful pass by Hashim Domingo in behind the opposition defense. And then you do have Themba Zwane, who does make the run. When he does make the run, he is able then to finish. Overall then, when you do have a look at this game, I do think that Cape Town City were the better side with regards to how they created chances and how penetrative they were. With regards to Mamelodi Sundowns then, I don't think they played well in this game. They really struggled to progress the ball. They really struggled then to find that rhythm and find that passing tempo. However, when it mattered most, they had the quality. That is the free kick with AUBREY MODIBA, and then that is then the goal that Themba Zwane managed to score. 4. So, ladies and gentlemen, then it does end 2-0 in favor of Mamelodi Sundowns in Cape Town in the opening fixture of the DStv Premiership 2022-2023 season. So, Mamelodi Sundowns then do pick up all 3 points. They do sit top of the table. And then Cape Town City then, yeah, unfortunately, they get no points on the night, even though one would feel that they did deserve the points. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to yet another special episode of Diski Talk with Liolo. It is the DStv Premiership. Babi Zebonke signing out.